Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Chevre, Parshas Lech Lecha, Tafshin Pei Daled. So we're going to discuss some big Yesodas that we pulled out from the Parsha. Some massive Yesodas. We're not going to have time to do everything, but let's try. Okay. Vayom Adonai el Avram Lech Lecha me'atzecha me'natatecha me'beis avicha el ha'aretz asher ar'erka. So Lech Lecha. Yeah, go to you. Lech Lecha. So I got a question for everybody. It's not going to sound particularly related. Well, a few questions. What's the inyan of a handshake? No one saw that one coming. What's the inyan of a handshake? Why is it that it's a handshake that's been, just it's universally accepted as a way of, I'm giving you my word. I promise. This is a deal. Yeah, you make a deal with a handshake, number one. Number two, what's the inyan, excuse going here, what's the inyan of a slap? The difference between a punch and a slap. Sorry it's not very, whatever. What's the inyan of a slap? Number three, Lahavdil, why do we put our hands over our eyes when we say Kriya Shema? Why don't we, what's the point? You close your eyes. You don't need to put your hand over your eyes as well. What's that adding to? What's that adding? Yeah, you hear the three questions? Okay. So, Lech Lecha, go for yourself. Rashi says, La'anascha l'toivasecha, for your hana. Chochma is the highest of the spheres as we count them in Chabad. Okay? Because Malchus, Yesoid, Hoid, Netzach, Teferes, Gevura, Chesed, Das, Chochma, Bina. Okay? But we know that there's a sphere above Das. Everyone knows what the sphere above Das is? Keser.
Keser. I was going to say that.
Yeah. Keser is above Das. So Yud symbolizes Chochma. So what's above Chochma is Das. Is Keser. Above Chochma is Keser. Keser is represented by the letter Kaf. For these reasons that we just said, number one, it's the letter before Kaf, before Yud, it goes above Yud. And number two, it's the first letter of the word Keser. So the command here, see, Keser is you. That's the real you. Everything else, Chochma's like an interface, but from Bina down, that's all stuff that you have. So who's the you who has stuff? As we've said many times, that's called your oineg, that's called your ratzon, pleasure, your will, whatever your ratzon. Yeah, that's all Keser. Ratzon is the lowest level of Keser. Then you have oineg, and then even a higher level in Keser, maybe called Emunah. The Keser divides into three parts in a sense. But Keser's that's the you. But it's interesting though, because Chaf is Lashon you. Second person. Lefanecha, before you. Mashlomcha, how are you? How is your shalom? So Chaf, which is the shoresh of the whole seder of the spheres or of your koiches and nefesh, whatever you want to call it, yeah? That's Keser, and that's what we're referring to when we say you. When I say you, when we're panim al panim, as we've spoken so many times before, yeah, when you're sitting in front of someone and schmoozing, you don't use their name. You go beyond name and you go to second person. How are you doing? What do you think about this? Is that on your mind? V'chule, v'chule. You. You only need a name when someone turns their back to you. Then you have to call them, like Avi, Yitzi, when you turn your back, or if there's someplace else and you need to call them, or if you're talking about them. But when you're panim al panim, it's ata. That's cha. Why? Because that's the you. That's the one who owns, who has all the koiches, who has the behavior. Everyone's with me? So let's answer up these three questions. What's a handshake? See, it's interesting. This is such a deep thing, and this really can change. Like, this is a huge aside. Yeah. What's this called in Hebrew?
Yad?
This is called a yad. What's this?
Kaf, the kaf yad.
Kaf yad. Kaf. Chaf pei. Chaf. This is the place where you really expresses itself. That's why it's also called kaf. You are expressed through your behavior. How you act is really who you are. And this symbolizes how you act. This is you. So now we can answer these three questions. Number one, why is a handshake the universal symbol for an agreement? Or to say hello or to say goodbye? Because this is you. This symbolizes you, and this symbolizes them. And it's the real you and the real them, the panemius of who you are, the panemius of who they are, touched together. That's also called yedid. Yad yad is a yedid, a friend, a dear friend. The Indian of a slap, yeah, sorry to talk about these crass things, but the Indian of a slap, as opposed to a punch, is a slap isn't so much designed to, it's not about hurting someone, it's about showing more that you've been hurt. You're bearing your soul, so to speak. You're showing them the palm of your hand, which symbolizes you. And this is really beautiful. Kriya Shema. Why do you need to cover your eyes with your hand? What's Kriya Shema? Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Yeah, Shema. What's the two big letters in the first pasuk of Shema?
Ayin and Daled?
Which spells aid. Because we're bearing testimony to Rabbeinu Shalom. What's the eye? You have to be looking at something. Aidus has to be about something. What's the aidus? What are we looking at in Shema? Huh?
We witnessed Harsina.
Yeah. But when we're saying Shema, I mean, it's all the same Inyan. But when we're saying Shema, that ayin dalad is pointing to the Kael Melech Ne'eman that we say b'yechidus. Amen. We're looking at Emunah. That's the avodah of Kriya Shema. That you look at Emunah, and then through Shema, you process that Emunah into the goof, down through the whole system, and finally into the goof, even into the pesachim of your house. So when we put our hand over our eyes, the closing your eyes, that's enough to get out of this world, yeah? But when you close your hand over your eyes, you know what you're looking into? You're looking into the depth of who you are. That's what you're looking into. That's what Kriya Shema is. The Kel Melech Ne'eman, the Emunah, yeah, that's, like I said, Kesser breaks down into three, yeah? Ratzon is the lowest, then Tainug, and then the highest level is called Emunah. People call it different things, but according to the Seder we're talking about now, yeah, the highest level is called Emunah. So when you close your eyes, you're not covering your eyes with your cuff. You're looking into your cuff. You're looking into the very essence of who you are. That's what Kriya Shema is. Moedim, no? And that's the avodah of Kriya Shema. You're gazing into the depths of the very essence of the very essence of who you are as a yid. And now that's with Re'iyah, and then Shema, that's now processing it down into the that's been processing it down into the emotions, and then into your into your thought, speech, and action, and then into your arms and b'sharecha. Read the first paragraph of Shema. It's the bringing down of the Rebbeinu Shalom from the level of Kel Melech Ne'eman down to b'sharecha. which is the furthest outermost limit of who you are, and it's in perfect order. You can look at that yourself. Okay. Weiter?
Yeah, weiter.
But
Okay.
wait, can I just ask one question?
Sure.
What is this? How did we get into this from Lech Lecha again?
Lech lecha. That's the command. Hashem said
Right.
that. Hashem turning around to Avram and saying, go to the cha. Go into the panemius now of who you are, mamash. Lech lecha. Go into you. That's the ata nefachta bi. Ata nefachta bi. You blew into me, nishmas chayim, ata, you. Now, whenever you see a chaf anywhere now, it's going to be a whole different world. Mamash. Whenever you say you to someone, you're mamash, that's like, that's one of the reasons why we, not whatever, said, okay. Okay, I'm going to say this quickly. I'm not going to, it's in the Parsha, there's an Or Chaim who explains that Hashem said to him, Loshen Dibor, as opposed to Amira. Okay? What's the difference between Amira and Dibor? Omer and Medaber. Omer, Diber. Okay? So there's lots of differences, and the Or Chaim goes through. And basically, in the Parsha, without getting into all the text, he says that Dibor was the tzivoy of Hashem. Amira was for your hana, and Dibor is being mitzaveh you. So the world was made with the Asas and Maimoros. Hashem made reality. Hashem created the world with the 10 utterances, yeah? The Asas and Maimoros. Loshen Amar. Then we've got the Asas of Dibrus, which is they're not the 10 Commandments. That's a stupid translation. It's not a translation, Bechlal. I don't know where, it's not called that at all. It's called the 10 utterances or the 10 speeches, or it's not, nothing. It doesn't say Asersa Tzivoyim. So you've got the Asersa Maimoros and the Asersa Dibrus. What's the difference? Which one's Ikka, which one's Toffel?
Why do we need to say one is Ikra and one's Tafel?
Because that's the Matthias. Which one's Ikka, which one's Tafel? Well, let me ask you a question. What did we say after all those 10 original Aser Maimoros?
Some Maimoros are Iker, because without the Maimoros, there wouldn't be the Dibros. Because the Maimoros were what established humanity and existence and the Torah was given so that Hashem made a world so that we could follow the Torah.
Now you just undid everything you said, yo. The last thing you just said, so you say everything you said before that. You're right.
Okay.
Hashem created the world so we can be Makayim the Torah. So what's Ikka, what's Tafel? What's for what? The world is for the Torah. Right. So the Aser Maimoros, at the end of the Aser Maimoros, you've got this fantastic world with sky and trees and oceans and all this kind of amazing stuff. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. But what's the point of it? What's the point of it all? You with me?
No.
There was no point. Without the Aser Dibrus, this world had no point. Would just make a world like it's nice to look at. You just sit there and smoke cigarettes, build a business, just live and then die. Like, what's the point of that? So the Aser Maimoros, that was the Kli, and the Dibor, the Aser Dibrus, that's the Or. That was the reason why Hashem made the Kli for the Aser Maimoros. If it wasn't for the Torah, there would be no reason to the world, Bichlal. There'd be no point to this. What, you're just born to live? It's like someone, creates a machine, a solar powered machine that just sits there and goes round, and it looks cool. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. What does it do? And you say, well, it just kind of just continues to do that. But it never stops because it's like generating its own power and it's like completely self-contained. You're like, wow, like, but what's the point of it? They're like, well, there's no, like, it just kind of perpetuates itself. What's the point of that? Exactly. The whole world just perpetuates itself, but the point of the world is Torah mitzvahs. So Amira is the kli, and Dibor, that was the ore that filled the key. That was the purpose of it. And that's alluded to in that was the inyan of what the Or Chaim said, that Amira is to do with Hana. For your Hana, meaning it's a means to an end. It's for you to get Hana. Whereas Dibor is a tzivoy, which is mamash that's the tachlis in itself. Wow.
And how does that connect to the parsha?
That's in the part. That's mamash and Or Chaim in the parsha. I just didn't read it out because it was a bit of a long thing. But it's Or Chaim. It's on there. It's Yud Beis Vav. Yud Beis Posuk Vav. If you want to look it up yourself.
Okay.
Oh, this is a cute idea. I'll tell you a story. What happened to me. The question is in when Avram brings back Lot from Stoim, the pasuk says, "V'yoshev es kol haruchush, v'gam es lois ochiv." He brought back the ruchush and also Lot. The whole reason why he went and made Milchama with Sodom was to bring back Lot. Why are you telling me the ruchush that he brought back before he brought back Lot? And the Or Chaim asked the question. He answers it as well. I'm not going to give his answer, but he answers it. But he asked the question: Hagam she'ika v'difasoi haisa alav oisa ha'eloi lahakdim. The ikka reason why he chased, why he went after, was to get Lot. So therefore, he should have mentioned that first when he came back. So that he brought back the Rechush Gadol first, yeah. So this reminds me of a story that happened to me. I told it this morning actually. That when I was in Chicago a few years ago, and I had a chasna, and it was on Thursday, so I couldn't go back on Friday. Lamaisa, I planned to go to New York on Friday to spend Shabbos with Moshe Weinberger, who I've never really met. I've met him, like I've said hello to him once or twice, but I've listened to his shirim. I mean, everyone knows him. He's an Adam Godel, and I thought while I'm in America, I could get, So it was a considerable investment of money and time and energy. But I decided to do it, and anyway, so I'm landing on Friday midday, and I call my friend who I'm staying with, and he was like, "Oh man, Shmuel, this is terrible. I'm so sorry." He's like, "There's one Shabbos a year that with Weinberger goes to Toronto, and I didn't know this is the Shabbos." So I'm like, "Okay, fine." So obviously, what do I say in my in my guide, where I say to myself, I wonder why I'm here. In my head. And so I'm with this guy, my friend Pinny, and the whole Shabbos were like joking. And they were like, for example, like in the shul, an old man there was a bit of a crush, and there was an old man standing in front, and he fell over, and he just fell into my arms. I kind of caught him, and my friend's like, "That's why you're here." And like the whole Shabbos was spent like going, "Oh, that's why you're here, that's why you're here." And then so I leave, and I realize what a chutzpah. To think that I had a Havamina, to think that I knew why I was going there in the first place. You think that I was going to New York to listen to see Rav Moshe Weinberger? Maybe that could have been one of the reasons. The reason is that Hashem needed me to go to New York for whatever. This is what this world works on a need-to-know basis. He doesn't tell you even a fraction of what's going on, even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. Keep saying that forever. Yeah, he doesn't. What you know is a slither of a slither ad infinitum. Whatever you say just keeps going. You know nothing. So you go. It could be the whole reason why you ended up in you decided that you want to go to Weinberg, and maybe he was there as well. You heard him speak, but it was all about a brocha on like a piece of herring that was like from the flood that's been going around the world that no one knows. And it could be endless things. And that's what we see here, that Avram went to pick up Lot. But it says when he comes back, it tells us he returned by Rechush Godol. And then it says, V'gam es Lot. V'gam es Lot. V'yashev es kol ha-rechush. He brought back all of the, how to say rechush? Like treasures or whatever. And also, so if let's just say I went to see Rav Moshe Weinberg and he was there, it would have said, V'yashev Shmuel es kol ha-rechush. V'gam es ra'ah harav. That was the means by what Hashem got me there. But that's not why you're there. The reason why you bought the ticket to go to Israel, the reason why you bought the ticket to go to Miami, the reason why you bought the ticket to go wherever, yeah, that's the reason why you bought the ticket. That's not the reason why you're there. You don't know the reason why you're there. Maybe on rare occasion he'll reveal it to you. You with me? It's important idea to have.
Yeah, that's more than a cute idea. That's
it's more
big.
It's big. It's big.
That's hurting my head a little bit.
It's gewaldic. Just you know what the answer to the question is. So like, okay, you don't know why you're here. You don't know why you're here. So what do you do? And the answer is just be as heilig as you can. Find the mitzvah opportunity wherever you are. Wherever you are. The question is, what can I be doing right now that is shaykh to mitzvah? And the vadai, you say to yourself, well, what can I be doing right now that gets me away from Avera? But what can I be doing right now that's shaykh to mitzvah? You have a safe in your pocket? Maybe that's the answer. Or maybe you can just smile at someone. Maybe you can just start talking to the person next to you and ask them something about whatever it is. Just be makasher yourself to mitzvah. Kol rega v'rega. I mean, what else is there to do? What's the other? What, you got anything better to do? What else is there? What else is there? People get like, it's like one of the things, what was it? There's no one ever who lies on his deathbed and he's got his family there and he's like, I wish I had spent more time in the office. No one ever said such a thing, ever. Ever. So what is there else? You want to be with your family? That's a mitzvah. That's great. But make sure it's always kashur to mitzvah. Then you know that wherever he put you, you're doing the right thing and you're helping him out. You're being mala what he needs you to be mala. Even though you don't know why you're there, as long as you're kashur to mitzvah, he's going to put everything in front of you. Whatever he needs being fixed by you is going to end up right in front of you. Say a bracha properly. Okay, so this is a really big idea. We'll finish this. If anybody, this next one's a very big idea. We're going to leave. I don't know what to say. I'll let you guys. We're going to go time for one of these. You want to hear the difference practically between Goyim and Yidden or the avodah of tefillah?
Avi, what'd you say?
Well, we know the difference between Goyim and Yehudim,
Okay.
right? We spoke a little bit about it with the Tanya, right?
Yeah. Okay, fine. So we'll talk about tefillah. Okay. So if you notice in tefillah, it says in V'rech David, Atahu Hashem Elokim Hashem B'chata B'Avram V'hoitzei Samio Kastim V'Santa Shemai Avraham.
Avram, no.
No, the afterward, the beginning it says Ba'Avram.
That's my pasuk.
It says Atahu Adonai Elohim Asher B'chata Ba'Avram V'hoitzei Samio Kastim V'Santa Shemai Avraham.
Oh, then he gets the hay. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. It's very important. It's Avram. We never talk about any of the avos like before. I mean, Yaakov was different because Yaakov and Yisrael, but we don't talk about Yeshua and we all Sarai. We always talk about after the name. That's who they were. They became a new Metzias. Why in Tefillah do we dafka go out of our way to mention Avram? You with me? And now, if you notice at the end of Yishtabach, yeah, everyone does some art scroll Siddur. They're very good art scroll. They do some really wonderful things. And it goes, Adoi Brochat Hashem, Kel Melech Godo Mehula B'tishbachos Elhoidois Adoin Haniflois Aleph Boirei Kol Neshamos Beis Ribon Kol Lamim Reish Haboiche B'Shei Zimra Hey Melech Yochid El Kol Lamim Mem Avraham.
Wow. In Yishtabach, I didn't notice that.
Don כל התולדות, רואה כל משמעות, רואה גום כל המעשים, רואה בשרי זמן, מלך. Wow, nice.
That's not
Wow.
1 minute.
I'm pulling it up.
Here, it has it. I'm showing you here. Look, you see it's in big. You see the bolded letters: Aleph, Beis, Reish, Hey, Mem, Avraham.
Wow.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right way round or is it backwards?
No, it's good.
Oh yeah, to me it's backwards. Okay, so this is the avodah of tefillah. The avodah of tefillah is the journey from Avram to Avraham. That is what we're doing in tefillah. And let's go back. Let's just plug it back because there's another couple of things that we say. 1 moment. Yeah.
Wow.
So earlier on the tefillah, we say L'cha Hashem HaGadul VaHaGavua L'cha Adonai HaGadul VaHaGavua HaTifes HaNetzach HaChoid Ki Chol B'Shamayim V'Oretz L'cha Adonai Mamlacha Nesa L'chol L'Rosh, and then you put in the tzedakah, yeah? And then by Yishtabach, you say L'cha Na'er Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei V'Yiseinu Shir Ushvacha Halel V'Zimra Oiz Memshala, Netzach, Gedula, Gevur, Tehillah, V'Tiferes, Kedusha, Malchus. Yeah? L'cha, we begin by saying just the midas. L'cha HaGedula, that is Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesoid. Yeah? That's already Shaykh. The midas, that's the Shesha Shemer Bereshis. There's 6 midas. The midas the goyim are shaykh to. That was Avram was a goy. Avraham was a yid. The avodah of tefillah is becoming Jewish. How many times have we said it? How many times have we said it? Everything, your whole world of Yiddishkeit is based on shachris. Yeah, not on his boydedus, from the way I understand it, and people be cholek on me. But that's fine. The way I understand it, according to everything that I've learned, your entire Yiddishkeit is based on Shachris. How you treat Shachris that's it. That's it. Like treating Shachris without infinite covered is a big mistake. A big mistake. Shachris should be treated with such sanctity. It's so sacred. It's like if we knew, it's like laying the cornerstone to a building. It's the beginning of any process. The process is called the day. Yeah, your day is a manifestation of Shachris. And it's very important to know this. It's really important. I know that you guys have started putting in time, dedicating extra time to it and to the Zimra. And like, to say that you deserve a pat on the back for it is completely wrong. It's just the most sensible thing you can do. It's like, why would you get a pat on the back, lahavdil, for going to the gym? What are you talking about? It's like, why wouldn't you go to the gym? That's crazy. This is exactly the Indian lahavdil. Is that Shachris is everything. Shachris is the avoida. It's called Ibud Oiris. The mikveh is the beginning of the avoida, which is called Ibud Oiris. Which Ibud Oiris is the working of the hide. Yeah, like Oiris meaning orot, like the parchment. Yeah. So Ibud Oiris is when you put it in sid. in lime. I don't know. In Hebrew, it's sid, like a liquid that makes it supple. So that begins the avoida of taking the behema, the thick, the stustus of the ore of the like. How much more gashmius does it get than a piece of unprocessed leather, unprocessed hide from a cow? Yeah, that's called me after I wake up. You're just a piece of hide from a cow. So you go into the mikveh, and that's the ibud oris. That's beginning the process of suppling you up. But it's so funny because the cows, the hide of the cow, imagine like what it looks like when you rip off the skin of a cow. Stinks, blood, thick, fat, just hairy, like everything disgusting, yeah? But that becomes the medium bone. That's what you write a Sefer Torah on. That very disgusting, gashmius, most Megushan Dika substance in the world, yeah? Disgusting, most Megushan Dika substance. You work it hard and you put in the energy and you end up with cloth for a Sefer Torah. That's the avodah of Shachris. The avodah of Shachris is slapping yourself out of the bed. Yeah, you're just one shtick piece of meat. Yeah, one shtick flesh. And mikveh is a good idea. Jump in the mikveh, if you've got a swimming pool, go in the swimming pool, have a shower, at least have a shower. That's a bechin of a mikveh. And just remember, I'm not going to explain this now, but remember, one of the ikkas of the mikveh is the taking off of the clothes. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's a very big inyan. The taking off of the clothes is a massive, massive inyan. Maybe we'll talk about that another time, if you remind me sometime. So you take off your clothes and you go into the water and you begin the process of the, how do you say it? Like the suppling up. How would you say that? The making supple. Can't think of the word. The process
of the root.
The what?
No, I was gonna say like he tore a root. He tore a root.
Yeah, no, but I meant like in the moshel, like you start to supple up the goof. By the end of Shacharis, yeah, you're mamash klaf. You're mamash klaf. You wake up as a piece of hide, and by the end of Shacharis, you're mamash klaf. That's the avodah of Shacharis, and that's the avodah of the transformation from Avram to Avraham. And that's there's more to say about that, but that's a big one. Okay, we'll hold here. Any questions? Oh,
is there like a? I was just curious. Is there a connection to that where the Psuke de Zimra when the Akedah, mentioning the Akedah
at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could say that's something like starting with the end in mind. That's a hint to where we're going to get to. That's a good point. That was Avraham. That was Avraham on form. That was his. Yeah. That was the pinnacle of his life. Yeah. I'm just going to say one thing. We've said it a lot of times, but I'm just going to say it again. That I'm just going to read you a Tiferes Yisrael on Pirkei Avos. It's a whole big Torah that I missed out. Maybe next year we'll get to it or another time. But Melchizedek said to Avraham, because you did that. The Orchaim says because you really worked hard and you found Hashem, therefore Hashem really loves you. But that was Melchizedek's take. That isn't how it works with the Yidden. That's how it works with the Goyim, as we said. When it mentions when the Torah mentions Noach, it says Ish Tzadik. What is it? Ish. It's not Ish Tzadik Tamim. Yeah. Ish Tzadik Tamim Hayav Doyroisav Eselakim is Halech Noach. 3 big shevachs of Noach. Yeah? 3 big shevachs. By Avram, who was greater than Noach, it just says Lech Lecha, go. I'll make you a big nation, whatever. No shevach. Why did you give Noach three big shvachim, and Avraham, who was greater, you just say Lech Lecha when you introduce Avraham?
Can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question, please?
So the question is, by Noach, Parshas Noach, when it introduces Noach, it says the Ish Tam, Ish Tzadik, Ayatam, Elokim, his Halach, he walked with God, he was a Tzadik, he was a perfect man. He gives him three big praises. And by Avram, it just says Lech Lecha, go. Why? So this is the Inyan. Melchizedek said, well, the Or Chaim said that Melchizedek said to Avram that because you worked really hard and you found Avram and you found Hashem, he loves you. You have to read the Lashon over there. It's not exactly like that, but basically he really likes you because of that. Listen to this is the difference between the Yidden and the Goyim. The difference between Noach and Avram is there was a reason why Hashem loved Noach. There is no reason why Hashem loved Avram. Just like there's no reason why you love your children. There should not be any reason why you love your children. There's two levels of love. There's the higher love and the lower love. There's the love called Ava Rabbah. That's really kashor to the level of Kesser. That's not really love. Then there's the love of the Midah, the emotion of love. Now that, you can't love your children with that love all the time. No way. When your children are revolting, when you feel like you just want to like mamash, whatever, that means that the lower love, the emotion has gone. And that's completely fine. And I found that if that really happens, like if one of my kids does something revolting or terrible or absolutely bullshit, it doesn't happen so often, but it has. And I remember being in my room with my wife and just turning around and saying, I hate so-and-so. And you can imagine in the secular world, you can't ever say you hate your child. I know that I don't hate my child. I know that my emotions right now hate my child. But the relationship of the child is mushrash and kesser. So we've said before, turn around to Avi, you got kids?
Yeah.
How old are your kids? Or how young?
I have 5 boys, 12, 10.
That's a handful.
And it goes down. 7, 3, and 3 months.
So test this out with the wow, test it out with the 7-year-old, and also the 3-year-old as well. Yeah, the old ones I think you're with. So when you're putting him into bed, the 7-year-old, what's his name?
Benjamin Moshe.
Okay, so when you're putting Benjamin Moshe to bed, I say to him, listen, would you rather Abba tell you that I love you, or that you're my son and you will always be my son, no matter what you do? There's nothing that will ever stop you from being my son and me from being your dad. And see what he says, because I've done that. And it's a deep, deep thing. It's a very deep thing. And that's when we say we love our children unconditionally. You don't love your children unconditionally, on the level of emotions. Yeah, your emotions come and go. Why is it, they wax and wane, they rise and fall. That depends. It could be to do with you didn't get enough sleep, you ate the wrong food, or his mum's being an obnoxious brat. You can't love someone who's being unlovable. But when we're talking about the unconditional love that the Goyim speak about, that's really what we're talking about as the relationship. And that's constant. Never ever will he not be your son. Never ever will you not be his dad. That's the relation, and that's really that's marriage as well. It's the exact same thing. It's the kasuba. See, we think that you get married because you love someone. It's completely the opposite. It's because you're married, now love is a helpful tool. But love isn't the reason why you get married. Marriage is the relationship. That little piece of paper, the kasuba, is mamash kodesh kadoshim. Again, whatever you do, you'll be my wife. Now, there could be such a thing where you would tear up the kasuba, chas v'shalom. But the relationship is much more than the love. The love goes, and sometimes you don't love your wife on an emotional level. That's fine. You don't want that to happen too often, but that's fine. Ideally, you do want to love on an emotional level, obviously. But that's not what it's about. It's about the relationship. It's about the oneness. And that's with the children, that's even more obvious. So the relationship between Hashem and Avram is that. The relationship between Avram and Noach is an emotional relationship. It's not an essential relationship. It's an emotional relationship. So when the Goyim behave, Hashem loves them. When the Goyim don't behave, the love isn't there. But with the Yidden, it's an essential love, which means when we behave, Hashem loves us. When we don't behave, Hashem loves us. He's disappointed, he's pained, he's whatever, but he will never ever stop loving us because that's the relationship. And so listen to what the Kli Yaka says, the Yochim. So not Kli Yaka, the Yochim, the Tfes Yisrael. Shekol umas chavivin sheish ben selem elokim. That all the nations are chaviv because they have a selem elokim. Va'afal pichein and and when they do something really bad, their tselem elokim goes, and then there's no love. Hashem loves them because they have a tselem elokim. So if they're being rishoyim and the tselem elokim is nistalik from them, then the love goes. There is no love. Masha ein kain aval Yisrael medinikoim banim, but Yisrael who are called banim. Afki palchul avodah zara, even though they were doing avodah zara. The afshachatu akati b'chivusa kaimi. Even so, you're over the avodah zara. My love for you is miskayim. It's painful. It's killing me that you're doing this. But I don't. The relationship's still there. In fact, it hurts me much more. Because the relationship is always intact. The relationship will always be there. That's nitzchi mamash. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kudsha Brichu, Eiraisa, v'Yisrael kuluchad. It's one thing. So our behavior, our relationship with Hashem isn't dependent on our behavior. It makes sense to behave like a Yid. But that's not what it's about. So that's why Avram that's why the Torah gives 3 big praises to Noach, because that's the relationship of the Goyim to Hashem. When they behave themselves, he loves them because the Tselem Elokim is Niskayim. But by the Yidden, praise is not relevant. That's nice, but that's not what it's about. So Hashem doesn't even give any praises to Avram. He's just Lech Lecha, go, do your thing. Okay. Shbizaycha Lech Lecha. Remember, when you put your hands over your eyes for Shema, you're peering into the depths of yourself. And when you say to somebody, you're talking to the person mamash, the one who owns all the koiches, all the chokhmah, bina, das, all the begadim, all the behavior, all the cars and everything else. When you say you're going straight to the shoresh, to the one who owns all of that stuff, the etzem. It's like looking into the eye, the iris around the eye, the color of the eye. That's all the stuff you have. But the you is the pupil in the eye. You can't talk about it, you can't describe it. It's just a black hole. It's not a thing. It's just a black. It's a good thing when you bench your children. I've been doing this for years. When I bench my children on Friday night, I look into their eyes. I'm probably one of the few fathers who can tell my children by their eyes, because on Friday night, for the bracha, I gaze into their eyes and I make them look into my eyes as well. And it's a very special thing. And you know what the real trip is? This is the real trip. Is when you look deeply into their eyes, into the black of their eyes. What do you see? You see a reflection. You see a reflection of yourself. Yeah.
That's trippy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. So have a wonderful Shabbos.
Good job.
Thank you, Rabbi.